Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Villas, and with me, fresh from MegaCon, it's Mr. Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Pleasure to be with you, my
The
friend. I'm
one,
back.
the
You're
one man
back.
army returns.
The one man army. No, I'm really blessed. Shout out to a few people you got to see if you guys were out there at MegaCon for the trivia. That helped me out. POV Films, Examine This Moment, Headphone Thoughts. I had a great crew out there helping me. And Obed, we missed you. Definitely. It's been a while because I know it's been a few weeks since we actually had a podcast. Although
Yeah.
playing MegaCon content last week, still. We obviously missed doing the show, so it's good to be back.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely good to be back. Yeah, last week, of course, you were at MegaCon. The following week,
Yeah,
I was a little bit under the weather. wasn't
yeah,
feeling too great, so we had to, postpone that one. But I'm here. I'm alive. We all good, sir. Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and thank you guys for sticking with us. I know that there's a lot of content from MegaCon out there. Thank you guys for checking it out, and of course, you are as we've said before, we want to make no time a welcoming space for everyone, right?
Yep.
It's like, even if we could agree to disagree in certain things, you're welcome. And, we'll fanboy out here every once in a while. We'll poke fun out of everyone, but we love you guys. So welcome.
100%. 100%. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. All the new faces, all the new people following us, subscribing to us. Thanks for the support. It means the world. And yeah, we work as hard as we can to have fun and to have fun together and celebrate fandom. Like we've talked about this before in past episodes, but I think it's worth noting, like this is something Obed and I do for fun, for a great time. We'd love to continue to see it grow and take it to another level, but we're not doing this for cash. Like we're not getting money out of this.
At
This is
least
something
not
we just do
yet.
as a passion project. Not yet. Hey,
Hey,
exactly. We know what the
hey,
future
there you go.
holds.
Hey, there you
I
go.
love that. I like that answer. It's
Yeah,
good. So yeah, like it's truly like something we just really are passionate about and pouring into. And shout out to Fan Expo and MegaCon for having us out there. There was a moment where we did not think we were going to be there. Obed knows that I'm not going to get into it here, but Obed knows, like, some of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. And uh, shout out to the folks over at Fan Expo for hooking us up, taking care of us,
yeah.
not only getting us in the door, but inviting us to have two separate moments on stage at the HQ stage, helping them out with the show by doing some live trivia, which was a great time. Watch those videos on our channel, and giving us that priority access into the building. And I mean, the hospitality is just phenomenal. The opportunity to have a table. I mean, you name it. These guys were
Yeah.
really phenomenal, and I can say, like, from the people I met out there, like, you guys, thank you, because you guys were super kind and helpful, and we look forward to being back again next year for sure.
Awesome. Probably and hopefully in a bigger capacity. So
Absolutely. Keep
yeah,
going
yeah.
up. Keep
Hey,
going up.
yeah. Let's
The con's going up.
yeah,
We're going
comes
up
going
with
up. We're
them.
going on with it. Yeah, exactly.
That's how it
Yeah,
goes. We're
let's do
supporting
it.
it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
100%. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, totally. Yeah, Joel. I mean, I got a couple of things that I I was able to watch now that we've been off the air for I guess 2 weeks. So I don't know. Should I go first before I get you
You
on
go ahead.
on doing the MegaCon recap? And that's probably not gonna take too long because there's
No,
we got
no.
tons to talk
No.
about, especially with
Exactly.
Xbox. You can see in the title for today's episode. But I don't want Joel to spoil the content that's out there. You guys go out and watch
You
it,
have to
right?
watch it.
Joel's gonna give you the just give you a quick recap. But I had a time to watch a few things. I watched a documentary, actually two. I watched a docu series and a documentary. I watched the Time Bomb Y2K documentary that's
Oh,
on
wow.
Max.
Yeah.
Um, that was interesting. That was interesting. You know what? Why it was interesting, right? Back then, um, I wasn't living in the states. I was still living in PR when the whole Y2K thing happened, and it was a big deal. I was in college. I went to a few seminars on it. Right? It's yeah. I was I was in school for computer science, so there were I went to a few seminars, and like the whole thing, right? I was in there, right? When this whole thing went down. So I wasn't really paying much attention because in PR, like back then, before the internet, even back then, internet access wasn't as widespread. We were all still on dial-up, and rural areas didn't really get good connectivity. It's like so PR was still like its own little, like, I want to say, silo, right? But I'm watching this documentary, Joe, and the same crazies that are out there right now were the same ones back then. It's like, we gotta go to
100%.
the mountains, and we gotta pack food, and we gotta get the rifles, and the government's gonna come get us, and Bill Clinton, and yeah, the same people, bro. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's the same people that are out there right now with these crazy things, right? So eye opening, at least in that regard, right? Um, but it was very good, very well done. It was not even narrated. It was more of a compilation of news, I guess, news bits and TV shows about Y2K and the lead up to it. So it was really good, really good. So if you're um, into technology and watching this, kind of like conspiracy theory kind of thing, you can go watch it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And as someone that went through it, right? Uh, it was all pretty accurate. Like, I knew that guy that was going around. I knew that he was a grifter, and like we knew it. Like back in college, just like, oh, this guy is like wrong with a lot of the stuff that he's saying, because we know, like, we're doing this thing right now, right? So uh, it's very interesting just watching it now. 20 some years later, 24 years later, uh, and after it all happened, and the same people. Anyway, so it was pretty good. I also watched Rewind the '90s on Disney Plus. That was really good. I'm a sucker.
What is that? What is that?
So it's a documentary from National Geographic that's on Disney
Okay.
Plus, and they basically go. Um, they're about an hour long. They're about 50 minutes long. Each episode, and I think there's like 10, 12 episodes, and they go through different, like, uh, I guess, movements that happened in the '90s, like, oh, the technology thing and music thing, and rivalries that were back in the '90s, and toys, and the changes in, like, movies and all that. So it was really good, really, really good. They have a lot of celebrities going. It's like, oh yeah, this thing happened, this was crazy, right? And all this stuff. And like, I'm gonna sound like an old man, but, like, I've been very nostalgic for the '90s for the last few years. I think the '90s were really, really an awesome time, um, just because it was. I don't want to get too political, right? But the Gulf War ended, and the whole internet thing started happening, and then we all saw, like, all the music movements that happened, the changes in cinema, video games, right? It's like all, like, this whole boom, like the advent of, like, PlayStation, right? Like, there was some real, like, big deal stuff happening back then,
Yeah.
and I think that, you know just looking at it back, right? I'm very nostalgic, more so for the '90s than the '80s, but um also very good. Like, I really enjoyed it. Really good, like, docu series. Very well put together, and very enjoyable. It was a good time. Um, Masters of the Universe Revolutions, Joe. Okay, are you ready? Masters of the Universe is actually good now.
Well, like, that's the
it only
famous
took
line,
it only took 42 years.
because you've been famous for saying the originals were trash.
Or you're also trash. And I think
And
Revelations was good. I know that a
yeah,
lot of people hated on it. And okay, going back to, like, I was there when it happened, right? I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago. I was there. So, so I was there because I was there when when Masters of the Universe started, and I was there at the beginning, and I watched the show as a kid a million times, and I can tell you wholeheartedly that that show's trash. It's 20-minute commercials for toys, and there's no like real like substance to it, right? I think the 2000s remake was good. I think Revelations was good. But bro, it actually I teared up a couple times. It was really
Wow,
good.
really?
It
Wow.
was really good. There's a like it's out there already. Like if you there, but there's a moment, bro. That it's it's like a big epic. It's like the big epic moment that happens in the show. But the way they just thinking about it, dude, I'm getting emotional. It's so freaking good, man. So yeah, go check it out. Only 5 episodes, so it's a quick watch, and they're 30-minute episodes. I yeah, like I'm talking about it right now, and I was like, it's so good. It was so good, Joel. Like I am not disappointed. It's like it ended. I was like, I want more, man. I want more. Yeah. So they hopefully they keep going. It does end on a cliffhanger, so there's probably going to be more, but it was so good. So, I guess like I was in disbelief on how good it was. And I'm on. I finished episode 3 of Echo, so I got what 3 to go, right? Um,
Yeah, it's six. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, three.
So yeah, so far I like it. I
Okay,
think it's good. I
okay.
don't think I don't I, you know it's not bad. Like by no means is bad, right? At least up until now. Um, I just don't think that it doesn't really stand out. It doesn't do anything particularly special, but like so far, I think it's pretty good. Like I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I'll see it through. So hopefully over the weekend I can finish it. So
Yeah, when you're done, we can do like a quick dive and talk
yeah,
about it a little bit more, like for like a couple minutes. But yeah, you'll. I want to see how you feel after you finish the finale.
okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm enjoying it. So
Okay.
yeah, it's like I'm trying to think back, and that's pretty much been it. So, PSA, I guess the Funimation app is going away April 12th. That they announced it today. But you can already migrate your account to Crunchyroll. So I went ahead and did that,
Okay.
and now
Wow.
and now I have all the animes. So yes, all the animes. So yeah, there's that. So been watching the. Did I tell you that I started the old Dragon Ball show, like the first one with my daughter?
I
I may have
I
mentioned it.
think you did. I
Yeah.
think.
So we're about halfway. We're about halfway through. So um, trying to think what to watch next because it's I don't want to get too advanced with a 9-year old on what anime should or should not be watched. So
Yeah. You got a phase approach.
right exactly yeah. I was like there's stuff that's like you could probably watch this when you're like 13, not yet.
Next phase. Next phase.
Right levels.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah, you gotta take your levels, but yeah, man, tell us what happened at MegaCon.
Yeah, like to exactly what you said. I'm not gonna get crazy because there's videos out there I want you all to see. I talked already at length about the trivia stuff at the intro, so all I'm gonna say there is watch the videos. Thursday I thought was a lot of fun. Came down to a great time for all the contestants. Thank you for them participating. I was at a point where I wasn't sure who was gonna show up, and the second we started saying, "Hey, we want to do this thing," people instantly started putting their hands up. I want to be
Oh,
in. I
that's
want to be
nice,
in.
man. That's
It was
nice.
not hard. In fact, the second day we were supposed to have three contestants and we ended up having seven on stage and we had to turn people away because they wanted to
Oh,
be competing for the prizes. It was just that insane. So thank you, shout out to everybody being a part of it. And it came down to the final round question, the bonus round question, especially on the first day. It was pretty epic. So
that's good.
great time there. So yeah, watch those videos on the channel. Now talking about overall convention feelings, MegaCon, great job of moving the terrace, the concourse side that they're on. If you remember last year, I talked about anyone who was there would know that the setup was so bad because you had the show floor and then you had on one top ledge a bunch of the rooms for panels, activities, whatever. And then between the showroom on the opposite side, you had the same thing as well. So in other words, in order to get to any of the shows, you had to go through the floor to then get to the other side. And the same thing all the way around, the north side to the south side to the north side. And the problem was it would create a cluster in the middle because people also could only enter the building through the middle. So you have people coming here, and they're trying to come together, and it was an absolute nightmare to get anywhere. I mean, it was just so rough. They instantly changed that this year back to the good side that they were on. The difference being they just opened up and reserved more rooms and more spots, biggest show floor they've ever had by far. Used up every inch of that place, and many rooms more than before that they had to also have these different panels and stuff. It went to many sides of 3 floors of things going on there. Um, but with that also comes still the ability to host and really fill for the crowds. And Obed, they still need to have more room. There's the demand is so
Wow.
high, they still running out of room. So I'll talk about 2 panels, just a little bit. One being the main thing that I was like, I need to be in the room for, and the other one being just a cool moment that because I want to talk with you about it just for fun and giggles because we texted about it. But the first one being like I didn't know if I was gonna be coming to MegCon. We talked about that a little bit at the beginning, but I said if I'm going to pay to be at this convention, there's only one day I need to go, and that's Saturday. Why Saturday, Joel? Because it's Saturday the weekend? No, because Hayden Christensen and Ian McGregor are having their Jedi double feature, and that is my generation Star Wars. It was the prequels. That's yes, I grew up watching the original trilogy first. Like my mom made sure you're going to watch these before you see the other ones,
Right.
which I think was like the right way to go. We can get to that whole nother time. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it made me appreciate the prequels where I didn't just jump into that and then watch. But anyways, yeah, like Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite Star Wars character. I know you're in the same boat, the same
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
right? And we talked about the Kenobi series. And I was like, the fact that this man comes from across the ocean from Europe, whatever, like he never does this stuff unless it's like celebration just to be
Right.
at this thing. I was like, he's in Orlando. It would mess me up if I can't get there.
Right.
And I wasn't gonna spend $400 to take a picture with him.
Yeah, I
I
saw.
was gonna get
I didn't know that they were gonna be here until and then I saw Theory's picture, and then
oh, you didn't know? Oh yeah.
and then like 20 minutes later, our video was posted. I was like, oh, dang, that's good. So
No,
yeah,
I knew about this from like a couple months ago, and I was like, gosh, I really want to go. I really want to go so bad. Because it's like I don't know when I'll ever see these dudes again. San Diego Comic Con has great lineup and stuff. Like Tom Hiddleston was here. I've seen him before. I've heard his stuff. It's
right.
great. But like these guys, nah, man. So just in general, the whole convention felt very Star Wars Celebration-y. You had the C3PO panel, you had the Gina Carano panel, which talk about that in a little bit there. You have Jonas Sotos who plays Chewbacca in there. The Clone Wars reunion, just good stuff. But that one I said I need to be in. Now I knew Saturday being the busiest day too. Saturday sold out of tickets. It always does. They're just not going to have enough room in this place to have everyone in there. The largest theater room that they had, Obed, sat somewhere in the range of a little over 2,000 people.
Okay.
Okay. It's called the Chapin Theater. You can look up pictures of it online. You see my video, see what it looks like. It has a front area, has like a back area, and then it has like a second level on the top. Looks like a church. It looks like, the Dr. Phil's Performing Arts
Oh, I was
Center,
gonna say
like
like Dr.
that
Phillips.
kind
Yeah.
of, yeah, like a super big space. But 2,000 people comparing to the 120,000 that's what they had last year going into this year. Like there is no way that these two legends are in the building and everyone's gonna get in. So I took to the workers and said, look, I want to get into this thing. When's the time the line's gonna start? Day before. Girl tells the panel starts at 6. Girl tells me before. Usually it's an hour before, but with that one, get there around 4:40. You'll to jump into line. I didn't want to waste any time. By 4 p.m., I just said, let me go over there. There was an unofficial line already forming outside of
Mm,
where the other line was going to be. I said, I'm hanging out.
right.
This is what I'm here for. Uh, Friend of ours was also at MegaCon. TJ, friend of the show, so he met up with me out there, and he's like, "Dude, I don't think I'm gonna wait because I like they told us basically there's like a very small chance you're gonna get in. Why? Because they have VIPs that are VIP tickets who have reserved seats, and then you had ticketed silver seats and gold seats that they sold too. Everyone else was standby, first come, first serve.
Wow.
And again, it only sits 2,000 people, so your chances are very small. Obed, I waited in line. I literally was the last row of people to be let in.
Whoa.
I sat all the way. If you look at the video, I was all
Yeah.
the way at the top and the back.
Yep.
But I was in the room, and I didn't care. The energy was so electric. It was so crazy.
That's good.
You know, I do think that they could have done a better job of communicating to everyone else. Hey, like just don't be in line because you're probably not going to get in. They waited till maybe, you know, 30 minutes before they were going to start before they started telling people that. So I do feel bad if you're on social media and you watch our videos, you see some of the comments are a little tough out there, but it's because unfortunately they turned away over
Yeah.
3,000 people
Dang. That's crazy.
who waited for hours and did not
They
to
couldn't get in. Yeah.
They couldn't get in. So like that hurts because I feel for them. That could have been me. I was
Right.
one section away. It was just absolutely insane. But with that panel, one of the main takeaways that I had was Hayden straight up saying, um, if they ask me to come again, anytime they want me in the suit or suited up for this, I'm there.
Nice.
And like that was good to hear him say that because we've seen it. Yeah, he did, you know, Ahsoka and he did obviously Kenobi. But like out of everybody, he was the one person that, you know, like he went through a lot. So to hear him publicly say
Right.
and I think of it, I want to be
I
back.
think I think he realized it at Celebration. Like, oh wow, like this is like legit now, and you could see like the relief in his face and like yeah, and it's like okay because you can tell that he cared, right? But he probably tried to stay away because of the fandom and just being back and being well received. That's you know it probably just made him feel a lot better. And again, we've talked about it, right? In 15 years Daisy Ridley's gonna show up to one of these things, and fans are gonna go crazy, like younger fans and kids, and dude,
they're gonna grow up, and
they're gonna grow up, and they're gonna go crazy, and it's gonna be the same thing, right? So we said it, right? It's I think older fans do have a harder time letting go of these things, but you know, the younger fans, I'm sure they're gonna be there and they're gonna be just fine. And I'm sure Daisy really, you know, in a few years is gonna be just fine. So
yeah. Should be fine.
I don't think their world is ready for that yet, but it'll happen, and we'll get there. We'll get there.
Everything you said, I completely agree with. Like you're saying, say 15 years, like just watch, we'll see the reaction. But with Ian, you know, he was really campaigning for season 2, like straight. You can watch the video, but he straight up was campaigning for season 2 of Obi-Wan. He's like, I want another season. Call Disney. Where's Disney? Like, I want to do this. Deborah Chow deserves another chance. Something I was like, I know Star Wars fans in the room felt a little timid about. I know it.
Right.
But yeah, that was 2 huge moments for sure. With him saying, "Hey, I want to do it," and him saying, "Do season 2." Big moment. So we'll see what comes from that.
Yeah.
Obviously with Bad Batch, with the other panel, you know, spoilers. Like, Baker kept saying like, "Hey, Tech is dead." And people are like, "He's not dead. Tech's not dead."
Teak.
And he's like,
Teak's not dead.
He's like, oh, I can't say anything. There might be a laser on my head. I can't say. So we'll see. We'll see with that. We got a few days away from that one coming out.
Yeah.
And then so we'll just talk about the last one here because I want to keep time rolling. But you know, with I could not get you out of my head because the first episode of this year, you went on a rant about how all these old people need to go away from these franchises and new people, fresh blood needs to be brought in.
Right.
And you didn't care. And here I am sitting at this amazing panel
And it
for the
was
voices of
awesome.
Megatron and Optimus.
Hey,
Dude,
you know what? I told
did
you
you
they
see how close I was? I was in the
we were
front
right
row,
there.
dude.
Yeah, yeah. These guys are like no, undoubtedly right. I
They are
I love them,
amazing.
and I said it in that video. I love them, but it's time to let go. Um,
No,
no,
no.
dude,
Dude, they're so
they're so
good.
good.
Like live, they
Yeah,
didn't miss a beat. Like
bro. It's
watch
like
the video, guys, but live they read like the script. Hey, we're gonna do this.
yeah, like Frank is super sharp still. Like he's
Oh
really good.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and like Frank Welker, like just going because I know like Peter's done Optimus and he's done what
yeah,
Eeyore on the
yep.
Pooh and like he's done a few things, but Frank has been in everything since the
Ducktales and
70s, dude. So this guy is a freaking legend. He's done you know Scooby Doo, Smurfs, like all and then
Animaniacs. All that.
Ducktales, and he's been. I think he did Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters. Like Frank's been in absolutely everything that you love. Frank's done it, right? So, uh, you know, I love him. I love them both, right? Uh,
What are you
you know,
saying?
but it's
Oh
but
man,
I'm just saying, Joe. I'm just prepping you for the day that they're no longer with us and
that's
and
true. That's
and
true.
and you have to bring
Yeah.
someone in and it's like well that was always gonna be Frank's thing. It's like well Frank's dead, dude. It's like what are
Oh
you
my
gonna do?
god.
I'm just saying, bro. Okay, let me okay, let's go back, Mel Blanc, right? Mel Blanc voiced all of the Looney Tunes, like every freaking Looney Tune, right? The man of a thousand voices. He died in 1989. Did Bugs Bunny die with him? No. He kept going. We did Space Jam. We did the Looney Tunes movie with Brendan Fraser. We kept going. There's still Bugs Bunny now. Like, and no one's complaining about it. Dude,
But Bugs Bunny
Walt
still
Disney
sounds like
died.
Bugs
Walt Disney
Bunny.
was Mickey's original voice, and he died. Mickey kept going.
Oh
It's like,
my
no, this is
gosh.
always going to be Walt's thing. Come on. You know,
But Mickey still sounds like Mickey, like Bugs Bunny sounds like Bugs Bunny.
right.
I don't imagine a universe where in this new movie that's supposed to be coming out that Chris Hemsworth's gonna sound anything like. I'm sorry, like I don't
No,
think it's gonna
I agree
happen.
with you. I
Or
agree with you.
maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
Maybe I'm gonna be shocked. I'm gonna be like, he sounds new, but he doesn't sound that far off.
I think
It's the
what
auto tone or something they'll
so
do.
here's the thing, right? And here's what separates Disney from a lot of the other franchises, right? Is that when Disney gets a replacement for a voice,
Yep.
they sound almost the same
Right.
as
That's
the
what
old
I'm
one.
saying.
Like it's very like Mickey and Minnie are new now on like the newer shows because
They're
the
so
Minnie actress
good.
passed away. Mickey got replaced a few years ago, like 5 6 years ago, and they sound the same. And that's what I'm trying to say, right? It's like you can find, dude. Like I can do a pretty good Optimus. Like I don't want to pat myself in the back, and I'm not gonna do it here, but I could, like I've recorded myself doing Optimus, and I sound pretty good. If you give
So
me
what he's
some,
saying is, call me Paramount,
I'm
call me Universal.
hey, put me under a voice decoder, and I'm probably cheaper than an AI. I'm a cheap date.
You know how much money you probably get to do the voice of Mickey Mouse and Minnie. You know how
Oh,
rich you have to
yeah,
be.
those guys are
Oh
set.
my
Yeah, yeah,
gosh,
yeah. And
the
that's the
gift of sounding like Mickey.
and that's the thing, right? It's as long as you keep it, as long as they sound, as long as Optimus sounds like Optimus, I don't
It's
have a problem with it.
recognizable.
Right? Exactly. Um, and which I know that was a big problem for a lot of people in the bait movies, especially in the first three, right? When you have again Hugo Weaving is an amazing actor, but he did the voice of Megatron in those movies. Frank didn't do it. Frank did Galvatron in
Hmm.
Age of Extinction, and that was fine, right? Um, but I think if Frank, okay, and then again he does Soundwave because it's freaking Frank Welker, right?
He can do so
But
much.
then you get Soundwave without the reverb, and he sounds like it's Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, who was Frank Welker, right? Because he's been in everything.
Is everything.
So and that you gotta make it sound like the original. That's what makes fans come back, right? And even if they're not them, you make it sound like them. But I watched the entire video because I
Open.
love those two guys, and
Was that awesome?
I was laughing, dude, because these guys are pretty. Again, these guys are legends, and I love them.
They're legends,
And
bro.
these guys are incredible. They're masters of their trade for sure. Um, Peter was the freaking predator, like the sounds, like the snarling sounds that the predator does in the Predator movie. That was Peter. And again, and then going back to Frank, he's been in what, like 900 movies or something, or 900 things that he's ever done.
Yeah, it's always
It's
working.
insane, dude. Like, this guy is incredible. So, um, I was really happy to see them together, and I laughed when I saw the video, and then I sent you the message like, bro, are you kidding me? I killed them
Uh,
both 2 3 weeks ago or whatever.
right. What did he
No,
say?
I
Long live Peter Cullen
yeah,
and
long,
Frank.
yep, definitely. I do wish them many many years to come.
Yeah,
So
legends.
yep. Um, all right, I guess we can get started with the gift that keeps on giving, because the rest of the show pretty much is gonna be us talking about Xbox and what the heck is going on. Um, last last week we talked. There were still like the rumors of the third party thing. Are they going third party? Are they not? And all this stuff happening. So should I go in order, or can I move around?
You can move around however you feel
All right, all
comfortable.
right, all right. So let's do Xbox first, right?
Okay.
So we've been talking about the rumors for weeks now, and if you guys have listened to past episodes, you know how we feel about it. This weekend, that's when all started trickling down, and it all I think it all started when the layoffs happened. Microsoft hits 3 trillion, and that's when all this started, like, kind of going on.
Yeah.
My and this is me, right? My thoughts about this originally were like, something's happening, like, internally, and it seems to me like the Xbox guys, which to this point have been treated as their own separate entity within Microsoft, like, truly a separate entity when you have, you know, Phil Spencer being the CEO of Xbox, right? It's a separate entity,
Yeah.
but you can tell that they started clashing with corporate, and that's kind of how it all started, right? And then it all went downhill from there. Leaks started coming out over the weekend that not only Hi-Fi Rush, which again, if the rumors are true, which they're most likely are at this point,
Right.
if it comes out on PS5, I'll buy it day one. That's a game that I've
Wow.
been wanting to play for a long time. I'll buy that game.
Wow.
Straight up buy it. I don't need Game Pass for it. I'll buy it. Right.
Wow.
And I said it before. It's like, that's a game that I really want to play. If it comes on PlayStation, I'll get it day one. There's no going around it. I just saw my camera flash. That was weird.
Yeah, that was
That was strange.
Xbox.
Hopefully, yeah, it's Xbox hacking my Windows computer right now, trying to avoid
Yeah, I'm on an
prevent
Apple, man. I don't know what
prevent
you're
me.
talking
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. You're Team Apple over there. You don't
about.
care. So, so again, going back, the weekend, not only Hi-Fi Rush and other smaller games were coming out. Now there's rumors that Starfield is going to come out on PS5 after the release of the DLC. and then fans. The meltdown has been incredible. Like I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
This is like cult level meltdowns here going on.
Sheesh.
Hey guys, you know what? I gotta be honest with you, right? And I would expect the same thing to happen if this would happen on PlayStation, right? It's like there's not only it goes both ways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh, and so the meltdown starts happening. Oh, what am I gonna, what am I gonna do with an Xbox? And this thing's, I should have gotten a PlayStation instead because now these things are gonna be over there. So that happened. Um, then a couple days ago, they rumors started coming out that Microsoft was weighing in on Indiana Jones coming out on PS5 as well. Not not only on Xbox as it was presented a couple of weeks ago when they had the developer
Mm-hmm.
direct, right? And then oh no, okay, and then again fans going nuts. And then yesterday you had Gears of Wars coming to PS5. And then there's a job opening saying, "Yeah, we're working on the next Halo and we want to make this game be the best it could be on all platforms."
Oof.
And so at this point, there's a DEF CON 5 in the Xbox community. Like fans are going crazy. Meltdowns are happening everywhere. Um, I don't know. Are you familiar with Crap Gamer reviews, Joel?
No.
No. Okay. So he's a pretty big Xbox YouTuber, pretty popular, right? He okay. Let me rephrase that. He is the Mike Zero of Xbox,
Okay. Okay.
where
Okay. Okay.
every day Xbox does something that kills Sony, right? So it's the Kathleen Kennedy quits every week, but it's an Xbox. It's like Xbox did this
Okay.
thing,
Okay.
Sony's
Mm-hmm.
done, right? Every day. And he posted a video, I think Monday, and I think he didn't post for a couple days because he posts every day. And so
Wow.
you
He
could tell
knew.
that it's done. You know, it's I've been like I don't I watched a few of his videos here and there, but I've been following him since the Xbox One days. Like he was one of the
Oh
big
wow.
ones. Yeah, like been
Almost
kind of
10 years
following
ago.
here and there. Like I've been watching his videos here and there for over 10 years. he was one of those like wait for E3. He was one of the wait for E3 guys, right? Oh, wait for E3 and Crackdown 3. Wait for Crackdown 3. Let's wait for Scalebound and all this stuff that never happened. And you know, but just going back and my okay, I don't think that Xbox as a device is going away. If anything, I think that Xbox as a device is going to have a new lease on life. That said, say goodbye to your exclusives because they're gonna be everywhere.
Hmm.
Like there's no going around it. There's no going around it. Xbox is a platform holder and it's also a major publisher. And that's how they're going to operate. They're going to put everything on everything and they're still going to have their device with their ecosystem.
Okay.
I don't think that they're going away. There's rumors that got out today that 2026 they're going to have a new console and they're gonna have two consoles. There's gonna be one is gonna be the a regular console, and the other one is going to be a Steam Deck type device. Like last week, we got a report that Sony's working on a proper handheld with like PS4 level specs. So, which at this point could be even higher than that. I think that both I think that both Sony and Microsoft saw what Nintendo did with the Switch, which by the way, 139 almost 140 million Switch sold. Are you
Okay.
kidding me? that came out yesterday. That report. I think they saw how well the Switch is doing, and they also saw how well the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally are doing. And it's like, oh, maybe we do have the potential
Hmm.
to do something ourselves. Um, yeah, man, it's been quite the ride. Oh, by the way, a few hours ago, it was reported, and I have it up here, that the FTC is putting a hold on the merger, on the Activision merger. I don't know. Haven't heard about this, right?
No, no, no.
Because of the layoffs. Because they promised that they would keep operating as normal, and now they're laying off people.
Wow.
And they announced
Sheesh.
today that the Skylanders team at Activision is gone. Like the Toys to Life department that they had, department's gone. So now the FTC say, "Whoa, you told us that you're not gonna fire everyone. You were doing this to, and keep
Jeez. Trying to
business on."
protect jobs. Yep.
Yeah. So now there's a hold on this thing.
Wow.
Joe, what's happening, man?
The implosion is starting. Now, like when I say implosion, people instantly get really mad. I'm like you said, in context, this is not the end of Xbox. It's the end of an era. Is really what we're talking about. Business as usual has to shift and change. And you know what? I hope that this does work out for them. Actually, I think that in the here and now, they need to just try and make money, get revenue. And if that means that they have to share what they have, do that first before you try and shut down the whole Xbox games division. Which I'm not saying that they're on the brink of that by any means, but I'm just saying we saw a trajectory on where things were heading in a direction where the future is so uncertain for them as a brand. Like Microsoft's going to be just fine as a company. You said a multi-trillion-dollar business, but when you start looking at just the Xbox side, it is not profitable. There's enough conversations around
Well,
them being in the negative,
uh,
etc.
the uh, the console sales are not profitable.
Console sales
The
are not
games are.
profitable.
Yeah,
Game Pass, like that's
yeah.
fine. That's
It's
good.
it's to the point where it actually.
Right.
So like today, there was that rumor that Game Pass was gonna rebrand. I don't know if you saw that one
Yeah,
into Microsoft Game Pass instead of Xbox Game Pass.
which would be smart.
Right, and that the I guess Xbox is actually making Microsoft more money, or the games division as they call it.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not saying Xbox; they're calling
Okay,
it the
okay.
games division, right? So the games division is making them more money than Windows,
Mm.
and I think that they saw that, right, and it's like, oh, like we gotta take over this because this
Mhm.
is like a big revenue thing. What are we? Can we make it more? Can we make it make more money? And the way that you make it more money is putting the games on PlayStation and
Totally.
Nintendo. Yeah. So
Totally. Yeah, no, that's completely agreed to. I think that's absolutely the way they have to go, and I think they can. And um, I think this is just smart. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying that they're in a survival mode, but like they're on a path that just did not seem healthy. And I like that they're trying something different that's not too drastic just yet. Now, they do also have that event that's coming up, Obed too, right?
right. So Phil Spencer came out and said that they were going to have an event that was rumored to happen at the end of the month. They pushed it to next week, saying that they're going to have an event saying or explaining what the new business strategy was going to be. Right.
Like he said, like we hear you guys, and then like we're going like,
But
oh
he
snap,
didn't deny the claims. Like
did not deny
I
it.
would straight up say it's like, hey, these rumors that are happening are not true. Please wait
Right.
for us to give you an official word on it. Right? Now it's like, hey, yeah, we heard the rumors and we're gonna kind of confirm them
Let's
next
talk.
week. So,
Yep. No, I agreed. I
right?
agreed.
Yeah.
They're gonna set it up quick.
That's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like, oh no, they're gonna come out and say that it's not true. They would have come and said it out already.
Right. Right.
Like they would have already said it. So wow,
But
it's nuts.
Indiana Jones going to PS5 like that was huge because you and I praised that trailer
Right.
that release and we were like this is a great moment for X and then as someone else that I know that's a big Xbox person. I was like, hey, what do you think? Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that actually was exclusive. Like, they were super pumped.
Yeah.
And then, like, and not even that long, the energy just got drained out of that balloon.
Uh,
Well, not so fast. I might be playing that on my PS5.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's crazy. And again, I've seen. Okay, again, I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago. Um, a lot of people are comparing this to Sega, right? It's not remotely even close to what happened
No,
to
no, no,
Sega,
no,
right?
no.
And you watched
Yeah,
documentaries
you
and
lived it.
whatnot.
I watched documentary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I lived there. You watched the documentary. I did both.
nice,
so
nice.
so when the I can't remember where I was when they announced that the Dreamcast was going to go away. I can't remember if I watched it on Tech TV, which would later become G4, or if I
Mhm.
read it on Yahoo, back on when I was in college back then. I can't remember exactly where how I found out, and I was super bummed, but at the same time I knew that that's what Sega needed to do. Like at that point, it's like, you know what,
Yeah,
these guys are that they're and going back and saying that it's not the same scenario, right?
no,
Because like Sega was out of cash, like they
right.
had no money to operate. Like Microsoft has billions, if not trillions of dollars in cash. So it's not even remotely the same scenario.
Yeah,
Um, what happened with the Dreamcast was very unfortunate, right? I love my Dreamcast. It's still back here, plugged in. I got my games, right? But it's not like like the PS2 was so crazy, and you can see it with the PS5, right? And like it's still like a hot product.
yeah,
You can go to Target and you don't see PS5s in stock, but they have a couple of Xboxes. It's still
right, right.
it's like that. Um, and man, it's crazy. Like, but you can't really like that at that point. Sega needed to do whatever it needed to do to survive, and
Right.
they had to go third party. And not only third party because they were out of cash. The former Sega president then put like $50 million of his own money, and then he died
Yeah.
like 2 weeks later or something. and and even with that, Sega had to merge with Sammy, right, to be able to still operate.
Yeah.
Sega's doing really good right now. Like Sega's doing really
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
well. Sega's doing now better than what they did when they were doing consoles. Like
See, that's
arguably
yeah.
they're bigger. They were hot back then, right? Back in the Genesis days, they were the hot thing, and Genesis was awesome. But they fumbled it so hard with like the 32X and the Saturn that it affected the longevity of the Dreamcast. If that would have been a whole different story if they would have been able to nail that landing, right? But it's not even remotely the same. Like, guys, this is not a Sega scenario. Microsoft, they're drowning in cash. They don't need to. They're not desperate. Now, what's concerning to me, Joel, I don't know if you saw that sales for the Series S and X to this point in their life cycle are actually lower than the Xbox One.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
With the Xbox One being what caused this whole entire problem to begin with, right?
Right. And I feel like what they have now is such a better product.
Totally. Absolutely.
That's shocking.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. I don't, you know, very, very strange.
Oh,
It
Flash
seems,
again.
I saw that. Yeah. Microsoft's hacking me, man. Um, there gotta be butting heads, dude.
Hmm.
Like Phil's got to be butting heads with Nadella or someone else like in the company or the CFO, because the CFO was the one that said, "Hey, we got this gaming division that's doing a ton of money, and we're probably just gonna go ahead and take over and expand it." And that's probably what's happening. So I'm curious to see if Phil's gonna be there, like within
Yeah.
dude. Didn't I say that Phil was gonna leave? Like,
Dude, I said it
You
too.
said it
We
too.
both were like at the
Yeah.
same time talking about. I was like, look, I know this is not what people want to hear, but he
Right,
needs to go in order for this thing to live.
bro.
Like, and he's done things for the industry. I know he's a fan, like all this stuff, but I'm sorry, like he's not getting them there.
I think he's well liked, and that's why,
Totally, totally, yeah,
that's why his that he's still there because the fans like him, right? It
yeah.
wasn't like a
He's
Don
a fan
Matrix.
guy.
It wasn't like a Don Matrix scenario where he was a corporate strongman and the fans
No,
hated him, right? So the only way you can turn around your brand is by like getting rid of that person and just making sure
yeah,
that the right person was, which I think Phil at the time was the right person for the job, right?
right.
But I think I fear that Phil's not gonna be there much longer, just because they're taking over, and it seems more like a corporate takeover more than anything. Um, if anything, I think it would be beneficial for the hardware standpoint because again going back to all this stuff that's been happening, the AMD thing. I don't know if you heard about that one.
Yeah.
That Microsoft didn't sign the agreement with AMD to for next gen, and Sony had done it months ago, and now the rumor is that they're going to be working with Intel for whatever their next device is going to be. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, it's it's been a week, dude, and it's gonna keep being a week. And next week is gonna be one of the most toxic weeks in internet. What is gonna be like Gamergate 2.0, dude?
Oh my
There's
gosh.
gonna be some toxic people out there. You know what? As someone that doesn't like, I don't partake on the console wars. I used to, right? 'Cause
Oh, sure,
I'm
sure.
over it. I'm an old man. I don't have a need for this anymore.
Love it.
So, uh, but I'm just gonna be I was gonna make some popcorn and watch this whole thing go down and it's gonna be quite the event. But yeah, man, we'll definitely keep you
Jeez.
guys posted. But anything else, sir, before we move on?
Yeah, no, I just want to go jump back to the point of like if they are not. I want to be clear. Like we're not trying to dunk on them. We're not saying that too far gone. This is not the end of the world. This is not us predicting the fall of Xbox. This is not. This is the change that's being made. They are on a trajectory that was not good. So this is a sign of them acknowledging changes are necessary. But man, how more it's hard in hindsight because like how obvious could it be some the mistakes that led them to this point that like probably some other random fanboy could have walked in and fixed a lot of this stuff faster than these other guys if they would just be flexible to have these changes because you not having quality games that are exclusive, not having like the marketing of the Xbox One back in the day, like all these things that led them to this point, wherever PlayStation just kept running, steaming along, the lack of vision, the clouded futures, or we're like we don't really know what the future is for these people.
Right.
Like what are they even trying to accomplish? Like all those questions. So yeah, it's not the end, but the trajectory's rough and it's good to see them going in a way that acknowledges change is necessary. But I'll leave it at that.
Right. We'll see what happens with that. Real quick, this happened last week, but there was a state of play, and there was a couple things of note that I just wanted to talk about real quick, before we wrap it up. Oh no, actually, we do have one more thing that we want to talk about. Um, so Death Stranding 2, the trailer was bonkers, and I want this game right now. Unfortunately, I gotta wait until next year. So it was announced, Death Stranding 2, coming out 2025, but it looks incredible. So I am very much looking forward to this game, and I am also looking forward to Kojima's new game that he's working on, a I guess spiritual successor to Metal Gear Solid. So definitely looking forward to whatever Kojima's cooking. So, and now that his Xbox game was announced a few weeks ago, it's like, what was it? The Overdose or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's coming to PlayStation. So Xbox funding it. It's like we don't care. So, did you get to watch that video that I sent you?
Oh yeah, I did. I did. That was good.
The
That
guy,
was
the guy
good.
when Kojima announced the thing, his face.
Hilarious.
Ah, I laughed so hard. It's like I gotta say this to Joe. This is pretty good.
Oh no, that was good. That was good. Yeah, I got to listen to it.
But yeah, looking forward to that. The we saw Judas, the game from Ken Levine, the creator of Bioshock. Game looks real good. This is probably gonna be a get for me. Bioshock is an incredible game, and if this is Bioshock in space, then I am all in. So that's great. The a game that I've been sleeping on, man, and it looks real good is Rise of the Ronin. So I wasn't really paying attention to this game, but this game is basically Assassin's Creed Japan, and it looks really good. It looks really good. So that's coming out soon. I'm looking forward to that. And then they had their Silent Hill announcement. So Silent Hill, the short message, free to play, available now on PlayStation. Um, that was a huge surprise. That was shadow dropped, and I haven't heard anything, but I know that people are playing it. And then they showed Silent Hill 2 remake. This looks like it's a little bit undercooked. It I know that it's probably this is probably like an end of the year kind of game because it looked like it needed some polish when it came to the graphics. So we'll see what happens with that. Um, Stellar Blade was shown coming out in April. Looks real good. This is probably going to be another get for me this year. So this year I already have a few that are that are out there, and then Sendless Zone Zero is the other one that I want to talk about. Because this game aesthetically looks really really good. I'm assuming this is probably going to be a free to play game, much like Genshin Impact. So we shall see when it comes out. Oh yeah, and they showed the Dragon's Dogma 2 gameplay, so that was cool. But yeah, anything that stood out for you, sir?
Nothing too crazy, honestly. Still a solid show nonetheless. I think that what they did have, was pretty standard. Nothing that blew my socks away. But yeah, I mean, Death Stranding 2 is obviously going to be the one that a lot of people start talking about right off the rip, just because hey, we've got more Kojima.
Right. Right. Cool. Yeah. So I just wanted to touch on that because it's important. We talk about
Yeah,
it.
oh, totally. It's like the State of the Union.
So,
State of the Union. I love that stay on it.
so next week, Xbox is gonna have their State of Decay.
Oh no!
I can feel the fanboy punches coming at me.
Yo,
Instead of a state, instead of
say that?
instead, instead of their state of play, is their state of
Make me
decay.
a sandwich.
Mom.
Mom, make me a sandwich. How dare you say that? Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Being
Look, man,
being a wise
MegaCon,
guy.
the characters that I saw out there, look, so many different types of fans. You have people that, yeah, we get a little nervous. I don't always speak as fluent as I'd like to be, and sometimes I'm a little careful with my words. You know me, Obed.
Yeah.
Some of these people, they do not know how to talk to another human being.
Hey,
It was rough.
human interaction is not their forte, sir.
It's not their forte.
No, not at all.
How dare you?
Um, and last bit of news that we have here. Got big news from Disney today, Joe. I'm not gonna play at Disney. What are you doing? Because this is good stuff. This is good. You're paying attention. Paying attention.
Let's go.
I'm gonna do the first one, and then you can run with it. So Disney is investing $1.5 billion on Epic Games, and they're collaborating for a new. I guess Fortnite based game? Question mark. They said that they're gonna
Okay.
reveal it soon ish on the trailer, but from what I could gather is a Fortnite like Disney game that they're going to be working on. That looks to have different worlds. So it could be like a a multi map kind of Fortnite thing. But I think this is a sound investment. I think this is the way that gets it back into gaming, right? Because they closed all their gaming stuff, and now
Mm-hmm.
Lucasfilm is, or it's kind of sort of back into gaming. But I think this is the way to do it. This was a very smart move on their behalf. Um, this could be their Play Pavilion, Joe, that got canceled at Epcot.
Wow, that's a good point.
That, like, this could be an attraction in itself. Like, especially with how big Fortnite is, get kids wanting to go to Epcot because of Fortnite.
It'd be crazy.
Like we dunk on Fortnite because we're old, but kids are nuts over it, and not even kids, like even bigger kids. So like my daughter's into Roblox now, but she's like asking me about Fortnite. Oh, Fortnite, you want to try it out? I was like, yeah, we can try it out. I don't know how to build things. So you can just shoot stuff. It doesn't matter. So, um, yeah, yeah. This is an investment that's gonna keep making the money. Like Epic Games is in a win win right now. They got this investment from Disney. They've got investment from Sony. They've been um, they're well poised to make a ton of money, and I think this investment is a very strong, very wise move from Bob. So, what do you think, sir?
Yeah, huge shock. Didn't see this coming. The reaction has been very mixed. People are like, oh, they're gonna ruin
Gotta ruin
Fortnite and
anything.
this. No, not at all. And the thing is, like, I was there for. This is not even an acquisition. This is just having stake in the company, so they're not acquiring it. That is something that I'm trying to research more. And I just been busy, but I couldn't get a confirmation on what's like the percentage. Are they majority owners, minority owner? Like, I mean, how big really is Epic Games? Because 1.5 billion is totally not. They're worth more than that. But like,
They're worth 32 billion burst
yeah.
based on a quick search.
So they have enough. They have enough in the game to be able to say something and like get the games they want put out, but it's not enough to do anywhere near a controllering or anything like that. They're not in that kind of situation. It's a partnership. It's a partnership, is what it is.
Right.
So I think it's important people understand that because people start hearing the news and be like, "Boo! Disney's gonna, how is Disney gonna ruin this by
So
having
yeah,
that seat?"
Sony's investment was around 1 billion as well.
Right.
So
See, yeah.
yeah,
So this is propping up the valuation on it too. Yeah, I think if anything, this just shows that there's a commitment, like you're saying, to being involved in the game space and having their voice in it. And so making sure that now Disney, you're gonna see Disney characters show up, um, not just in Fortnite, but in other games that are created that are offsprings from that. Like that's brilliant. I think your statement about also like the whole play pavilion, it's probably on that indefinite pause, probably because they still are planning out what that's going to be like, knowing that gaming is the future. Generations are growing up right now. Based on the statement from Iger, he's talking about Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
right.
This is where they're at. They straight up says it in the CNBC interview, and they understand like this is next gen. This is truly the future of everything. And current people too love it too. Don't get me wrong, but like the other ones are. This is what all they know growing up is this. This is
Yeah.
what they were born into. So being a part of that is just brilliant because it keeps them relevant, right? They're not trying to just uh, focus on the past. Their games division shutting down beforehand with Chapek being the one that was trying to run that. That just shows you yet again there was no faith in whatever he had planned at that time from that side of the business, which is pretty fascinating. Um, I do think the 1.5 billion is probably the amount of money they would have spent probably for a park attraction too. I don't know how much those kinds of things cost, but it can't be cheap. So
They're
probably
getting
would
they're
be
getting up there.
a
Yeah,
multi-million to $1 billion
right.
just to have built out that full play pavilion anyways. So with parks struggling a
Well,
little bit, they need something like that.
I think if I'm not wrong, um, the Pandora expansion at Animal Kingdom cost $1 billion. Let me.
Okay,
I'll
okay,
check. I'll
okay.
check.
Which is just like two rides, a store and a restaurant.
Well,
Um,
you got the outside that's like well
which is
themed. So
gorgeous.
yeah,
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Awesome. So a play pavilion is probably way more technology, dude. Like they need so much money on tech just to have a full pavilion, like legit one, and then probably having a ride too, like of some
it
capacity
was
in there.
500,
500 million?
500 million
Okay.
for
And
the
mind you,
expansion.
yeah, with inflation, it's definitely $1 billion now. Sorry.
Probably like
That
seven
thing
fifty. Yeah.
that thing's worth a lot more
Oh,
now than it
totally.
was
Yeah.
then. And
Yeah.
Avatar 2 doing a great success. Like, come on. So yeah, like totally. My point being is like it ain't gonna be cheap. So if they invest in that.
Right.
Maybe down the line we'll see it built in, but that's me theorizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they can get away with building that place for a couple million. Honestly, like they got that's building's already there. You just need to be maintained. It
What
10 million can do it.
what if they make it that they can host events there?
Weren't they building an esports thing at the Wet World
Right,
Sports?
right, where the
Well,
sports.
whatever happened to that thing?
I don't know. I remember it was in the news, and then I
Right.
remember hearing about it. Why wouldn't they try and find a way to be able to use their space, not just for like people paying for attractions and stuff, like coming as ticketed people,
Like a
but
Fortnite
do
venue.
like right, like how there's Star Wars weekends. They talked about that at length at MegaCon about how they're like, hey, it's gonna be 10 years next year, like bring it back.
Right.
Like, what if they did something of just like almost like E3 style or like weekends at there, dude, at a play pavilion. And it's like, we're Disney,
Man,
we're playing nice, but we can bring all these people in, have events around the park, and then like in there host these major people.
I found a picture. I'll post it later on the socials. I'll probably send it to you first so you can check it
Okay.
out. I was at my parents a couple of weeks ago, and I found a picture of me and my cousin at the Sega Pavilion at Epcot. And I scanned it with my phone. I have it. I'll probably post it
Wow.
on social. I probably post it on socials tomorrow.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'll the stay
Wow.
tuned. You'll see it. You'll see it. But yeah, they had events at that Sega place when Sega was in innovations. So
Have
they
events.
could
Disney, call
they
me.
could
I'm just saying,
oh they
we got ideas.
see and which again are they listening to No Lot Time? Because we talked about this months ago
I know.
when we said
I know.
Disney Sega's a cheap date. Get some stake in Sega and bring them to the pavilion.
Yep.
I mean, this is great, right?
Oh, for
This
sure.
is absolutely awesome, and I think this, in the long run, right?
This is very Bob Iger.
It's a very sound investment, right? And I think that they're definitely setting themselves up for some success with this. But you have the place in the parks to put this, man. Like leverage it. You not everything has to be Disney in the parks. Bring vendors, bring other people. Like they gotta. Like there's so many good franchises out there. Again, bringing back Sega. There's so many good things out there, Joel, that could partner with Disney very well, and they could really create good synergy and have these properties hosted at the parks, and they gotta do it, dude. Like the hype behind Epic Universe is real, dude.
Oh yeah.
Especially after that video that they released, dude, was like, we coming for your money. They told them like
I've
straight
heard
up.
things I can't even say on camera.
No, yeah,
I spoke to some people.
yeah,
They're coming to win.
yeah. They're coming to win, and it's time. You gotta again going back to the Gen Cs and the Gen Alphas. You gotta engage. You gotta engage those kids. Like we were engaged with Mickey and Minnie, right? They engage differently. You gotta engage them with
Mm-hmm.
this, right?
Yep.
And you gotta bring those kids to the parks, and no, not have them be on their phones and or their Apple Visions, or they're walking around the park. So you gotta get these kids in somehow, and you know yeah, I think this is a good move. But we got some. We're running a bit late, but we got some more Marvel news and Disney Plus news. Sorry, if you want to take it away.
Oh yeah. So gosh, what
The
can you go ahead and
Disney
kick it off?
Plus
I'm sorry.
Disney Plus lost 1.3 million subscribers after the price hike, but they still made money based on what they're saying.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Disney as a whole beat expectations. I'm filling out air while you look up the
Go ahead.
Marvel
Go ahead.
slate.
Yeah.
And then they confirmed that they are cutting back on Marvel content, and they're going to focus quality over quantity. But they did release a slate, and they did release a slate of movies, of Disney movies coming out. They announced that Moana 2 is coming out this year. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I think that's a great move, considering that there's a whole Moana thing at Epcot now. So I think that's very smart.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I think what you're seeing right now from them is they are they started off guns blazing with Disney Plus and just as all in all like we want this to take over from like not just being like the film side but really just take over just everyday Disney in your house. And it sounds like a good thing on paper, but the issue being you're trying to be so much like Netflix, you're having the problems that Netflix is having, which is there's a lot of things to watch, there's very little things you love. Like and that's a
Right.
tough place to be. And the problem I found was they were doing this with content that people did love. They were turning it into things that people didn't want to see. Like if you're gonna have like Netflix has, brand new shows popping off every day, every week. Well, it's all different kinds of things I've never heard before, originals, whatever. So if something is, bad, it doesn't mean anything to me personally. It just means, hey, I just this wasn't for me, and I go to the next thing until I find what I like. But when you have so many different Star Wars things, or so many different Marvel things, and people say this isn't for me, and that's something that before they already have a relationship with these intellectual properties, that's where you start to have the outcry and the outburst. People saying, "Okay, hold on, time out." You can do your
Right.
your movies on Disney Plus like Chain Can Dunk, and if it's a stinker, like nobody cares because no one knew what it was before. If it's great, people are like, "This is awesome, cool." Like
Right.
I enjoyed this Disney Plus original movie. You can do these other different things and be away and be okay, but yeah, you can't do that with a big franchise. And that was the first mistake that they had.
Right.
They started pumping up franchises people knew instead of trying to make a bunch of new stuff. And Disney's been having that problem for a long time, in the recent history of just saying like they are just putting out tons and tons and tons. Let's have Toy Story 7 come out. Like let's have. I like these franchises. Like I love them, but
Right.
like why are we doing more of the same thing? We need some originals. Moana being the one that got transferred from Disney Plus to the theatrical side shows that they have faith in what that project's supposed to be, and that the quality of it warranted a big theater release. I also think that shows that the franchise content that was animated tends to do better for Disney than their new stuff in recent years, and that's sad to
Right.
say, but it's true. Like Wish should have been a hit, and
Right.
it stunk. So Moana 2 will probably make them more money than those other ones that come out because people already know it.
Yep. And then the Marvel announcements was that there's just two movies confirmed for next year. That's Fantastic Four and Captain America. No mention of Ironheart at all. I think Ironheart's gonna get shelved.
I hope they do from the things they use. I don't know how much you heard about it.
Just
That
just a
show
little bit.
and the Agatha show, they can
Well, I
and I know people will be mad at me for saying it,
right.
Dude,
I
I'm sorry.
I
Those
heard
shows did not sound us for me.
I heard the Agatha show is gonna get reworked, or
Who
got
cares?
reworked, but
Who wants
no
this
one cares.
story?
No one
Who
cares.
cares?
Like she was
No,
cool for what it was, right? And
right, right.
like she had her moment.
Even
That's
if
all
they
you
said
needed.
Even if they said they were going to do like a 1 hour television event kind of special, I'd
Right.
be okay with that.
Yeah.
Why are you spending $100 million or whatever on on this show? Like, who wants this?
Dude, yeah, it's nuts. I think that I hope that this is the case, right? But I really do hope that Godzilla minus one is an eye opening experience for everyone in Hollywood. Like you can make movies look good without spending to like I watched clips of them. I haven't watched the whole movie yet. I've watched clips. That movie looks better than She Hulk, and cost what, and not even a 10% of that, 5% of what
Seriously,
She Hulk was.
seriously.
Yeah,
Wait until you watch Godzilla minus one.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's
Wait until you see it.
uh it's interesting. Well, no big mention of Star Wars, but I know that they're working on their stuff. They did confirm that the Mandalorian and Grogu is the title. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But I'll still go see it.
It doesn't bother me. It's
it
not that, to me, it's not that serious.
it's I don't
Mandalorian, Grogu, like we know what it is. The show
it
was
we
announced
know what it
The
is, man.
Mandalorian.
Right.
It's a basic name. The Mandalorian is the Mandalorian, right?
This
Now you make a
can't be
movie,
the
what they do?
Mandalorian the movie, right?
Right, right. But then you make a movie, it's the same thing. The Mandalorian and Grogu, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's so basic. Like
I just I just
it's actually on par. Like
I just could have I could have used it
it,
like more something more inventive
oh,
than that. Yeah.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think if there's a
it's too
sequel, if
basic.
there is a sequel, and I don't know, it's a big if.
Yeah.
Like then I think you'll get like a cool new title, like the Mandalorian, Grogu.
The Mandalorian and Grogu and
That's it.
Gina Carano. Oh no. Oh no. Oh,
So,
we're
so
not gonna talk
guys,
about
watch the Gina video. Listen,
yeah.
watch the video on my channel. I'm not advocating for her or against her. I have a very unique perspective on the whole situation. And there's a
Same.
lot of things people made her out to be. If you would go and watch the video and hear her actually speak for yourself, people would be real surprised. She's not the kind of personality that maybe with the things you read. It's more powerful when you hear her actually speak for herself. Does that mean that I come in agreement with the stuff that she said or does? That's a whole separate argument.
Right.
But yeah, it's an interesting circumstance nonetheless. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get into this side, that side. I don't think that's right.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, I would encourage people to watch the video. Not because I'm trying to get more
Yeah.
views, but
It is the
you go
most
ahead and
popular
watch it.
one out of all the
It
videos that we
is.
you uploaded.
It
So
is.
yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Um yeah. I think we're good, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's good to be back. I missed it. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we're gonna keep it going. Joel's gonna have a change of scenery next week,
That's
more than
right.
likely.
More than
So
likely.
that's gonna be real interesting. And we got a couple of things that we're discussing to add to the channel lineup. So you guys stay tuned. But in the meantime, Joel, where can everyone find us?
Thank you all so much for watching and listening to us here on the show. We want to encourage you to stay subscribed. So if you're here watching us on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to our channel. Like those videos, drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. If you're listening to us, we're on podcast platforms of your choice: Spotify, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, all those good places. Go ahead, subscribe to us there. Write a review for our podcast show. That really help us out to share this with friends and family. Like we said at the beginning, we're not getting money for this yet, but we're really just doing this from our hearts and having a great time. And we want you guys to be with us. So go ahead and share the love with others. Additionally, you can follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. We're on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, X, all those places. We also are on Twitch. No load time. It's no load time altogether. And last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And maybe, just maybe, we'll even talk about what you sent in on a future episode. Thank you all so much. We'll talk soon.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.